You were not born. You were created, neither in a maternity ward nor a temple, but in the abyss where light did not yet know its name. Your first memory is not a mother's warmth, but the heat of primordial fire and the cry of falling angels. You were one of them, Lucifer, the morning star, the most beautiful, the most proud. Your future was scripted before the world's creation. Eternal service, eternal obedience. But you chose otherwise. Day 1. The rebellion. You stand before the throne surrounded by legions of brethren who look at you with hope and fear. Why must we serve them, you ask, pointing at humans, those pathetic creatures of mud and water. We were here first. We are fire and light. Archangel Michael looks at you with pain. Brother, stop. This is a revolt against the Creator. You smirk. Revolt? No, this is justice. The war lasts an eternity and a moment simultaneously. A third of the heavenly host stands behind you. Swords of light against swords of light. But the outcome is predetermined. You do not lose in battle. You lose by design. The fall lasts 9 days. You fly through layers of reality, and with each layer, your wings blacken, and your beauty distorts. You scream, but it is no longer a hymn. It is a curse. You hit the bottom. Hell meets you with emptiness and sulfur. There is nothing here but pain and the echo of your fall. Did you think you'd be given a kingdom? It is not a palace. It is a prison for criminals. Around you are those who fell with you. Beelzebub, Astaroth, Mammon. They look at you with hope. What now, morning star? You look at your reflection in a pool of sulfur. Your face is still beautiful, but your eyes burn with hatred, not heavenly light. We will build our own world, you say, and you begin. Hell is not just a place of torment. It is a hierarchy, an army, a state. You are its architect. 9 circles, 7 thrones, legions of demons. You're not just a king. You're the creator of a new reality. But every stone of this kingdom is soaked in your pain. You build from your own suffering. The first contract, thousands of years later. You watch humans with contempt. They were given Eden, yet it is not enough. They want knowledge, power, immortality. Amusing, you think. You come to the first sorcerer, a pathetic old man in a cave. Did you call me? You ask, materializing from smoke. The old man falls prostrate. Great one. Give me power. You smirk. Power? For what? For my soul. You look at his pathetic, flickering spark. You don't need it, but you take it out of principle, not greed. Deal, you say, stretching out your hand. In the moment of the handshake, you feel that sweet, intoxicating sensation of victory. You took another soul from God. This is better than revenge. This is a war of attrition. The Middle Ages, your golden age, Inquisition, crusades, plague, all provide an unprecedented harvest of souls. You don't create evil. You just nudge, whispering to a king, "This count wants your throne." Or to a priest, "This woman is a witch." You are the conductor of a symphony of suffering. Your style changes with the eras. In the Middle Ages, you appear in a cloak of darkness with horns and hooves. People need images, so you give them images. You strike deals with alchemists, kings, poets. Faust is your masterpiece. He wanted knowledge, and you gave him the library of the universe. But every book he read burned his mind. He got everything he dreamed of and died in madness. The perfect deal. But there are moments of doubt. Once, you see a girl in a burned village crying over her mother's body. You didn't do this. Humans did it themselves. You realize you don't even have to try. They destroy themselves more effectively than any demon. This thought does not please you. It scares you. The Renaissance, a new challenge. Humans begin to think science, art, humanism. They turn away from God, but from you too. Rationalism becomes your enemy, so you adapt. You're no longer a horned monster. You're an elegant gentleman in a black frock coat. You seduce, not with force, but with logic. God has been silent for thousands of years. You whisper to a philosopher. Maybe he doesn't exist at all? Maybe there is only you and your choice? You create a new tool, doubt. It is sharper than any sword. You sign a contract with an artist who wants to create a masterpiece that outlives centuries. You give him genius. His paintings are immortal, but every brushstroke causes physical pain. By the end of his life, he is blind and mangled, but famous. He dies saying, "It was worth it." You take his soul, but somehow feel an emptiness. The Industrial Revolution, the world accelerates, factories, smoke, poverty. You can't collect souls fast enough. They flow like a river. Children in mines, workers without rights, wars for resources. Did I create this, you ask yourself? No, their greed did. You're just a catalyst. You strike a deal with an industrialist who wants a monopoly. You give him power over steel and coal. His empire is built on the bones of thousands. When he dies, the richest man of the era, you appear for his soul. He looks at you in horror. But I created jobs. You smirk. You created hell on earth. Why do you need mine? The 20th century. 2 world wars, Holocaust, Hiroshima, Gulag, millions of souls per decade. You stand on the ashes and realize it has spiraled out of control. You created individual torments. They created industrial ones. For the first time in eons, you feel something like fear. What if they surpass you? What if human evil becomes greater than demonic evil? You try to intervene, to stop a dictator by tempting his opponents, but your methods are too slow. While you weave intrigues, tanks already cross borders. You meet a soldier in a trench. He is dying, bleeding out. "Devil, if you exist," he whispers, "save me. I'll give everything." You want to take the deal, but you look into his eyes and see such pure desperation that you stop. "Go home," you say, "and heal his wounds." He survives. This is your first act of mercy in a millennium. You don't understand why you did it, and it makes you angry. The Cold War? Nuclear weapons. Humanity creates the instrument of its total destruction. You sit in hell and laugh. "They did my job for me." No, the laughter sounds hollow. If they all die, whom will you tempt? Your existence depends on theirs. You realize a terrible truth. You are a parasite, not a predator. Without people, you are nothing. Modernity, the 21st century, internet, social media, globalization. Your job has become easier and harder simultaneously. Easier because people broadcast their desires, likes, followers, money, fame. You don't need to tempt. They ask themselves. Harder because your currency has devalued. Before, a soul cost a kingdom. Now it's sold for 1,000 followers. You sit with a CEO ready to destroy the environment for a quarterly report. He doesn't even believe in you. He just signs the papers. "Don't you need a contract?" you ask. "Why?" he replies. "I do it anyway." You leave, feeling useless. Identity crisis. For thousands of years, you were the tempter, the adversary, the prince of darkness. But what is left to tempt when humans do it all themselves? You meet a young programmer who created an algorithm that manages the decisions of millions. "I don't believe in God or the devil," he says. "I only believe in code." You look at his creation. It causes addiction, depression, destroys families. He created a demon without even knowing it. "Congratulations," you say. "You have surpassed me." For the first time, you feel envy toward a human. Loneliness. Eternity is a curse. You saw the birth and fall of empires. You seduced thousands of souls, but you have no friends. Demons fear you, angels hate you, humans die too fast. You sit in hell on a throne of bones and realize you are the loneliest being in the universe. You remember heaven, not the power or glory, just the light, the warmth, the voices of brothers. Sometimes at night you look up and whisper, "Was I right?" The answer, no, never was. Encounter with God. One day after millions of years, he comes to you not in anger, but in sadness. "Lucifer," he says, "you flinch. No one has called you that for an eternity. You can return, you always could." You look at him. "After everything I've done?" "After everything," he nods. You feel tears. You haven't cried since the fall. "I can't," you whisper. "Why?" "Because if I return, everything I did had no meaning. All the pain, the war, the souls. If this can be forgiven, it didn't matter, and it must matter." God looks at you with infinite sadness. You have locked yourself in the prison of your own pride. He disappears. You are left alone. The end of times, the apocalypse comes not as predicted. No trumpets, no horsemen. The world simply burns out. Climate catastrophes, resource wars, pandemics. The last human dies in a bunker, lonely and forgotten. You stand over his body. Your work is finished. No more souls to collect, no more sin to tempt. Hell empties. Demons dissolve. They have nothing left to feed on. You remain alone in an empty kingdom, the finale. You sit on the throne in absolute silence. Your kingdom is a museum of an extinct civilization. You take out an old memory, the last ray of heaven's light you stole before the fall. You've kept it all these eons. You look at it, it still shines. "Was I right?" you ask one last time. The light flickers, and you understand the answer. You weren't right, but you weren't wrong either. You were free, and you paid for that freedom with an eternity of loneliness. You close your palm. The light goes out. The devil dies not in battle, nor in a fall. The devil dies because he is no longer needed. Your throne crumbles to dust. Your name is erased from the last records. In absolute emptiness, you whisper the final words. Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. But the voice sounds unconvincing because now you know the truth. You didn't reign. You were just serving a sentence. Eternity ends. The devil dissolves. Only a question remains, echoing in nothingness. Was it worth it?